Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tennessee Williams Theater Company's No Pants Shakespeare live stream reading of The Tempest. We're really excited to share it with you. We hope it's going to be a lot of fun. And without further ado, our wonderful cast is going to introduce themselves and their characters.
I'm Ken Goode. I'll be playing Trinculo, a jester.
And I'm Natalie Boyd. I will be playing Stephano, a drunken butler.
Two lower-born members of the shipwrecked party.
We provide comic relief.
I'm Donald Lewis. I'll be playing Gonzalo, an old honest lord. Gonzalo helped Prospero and Miranda to escape after Antonio usurped Prospero's title.
I'm Frances. I will be playing the part of Sebastian, Alonso's brother. Like Antonio, aggressive and cowardly.
And I am Randall Rapstine. I am Antonio. I am Prospero's brother. Some would call me a usurper. Some would say I'm power hungry. And some would say I'm foolish. I don't like that one.
Hello, my name is Maigan McPherson. I will be playing the King of Naples. I am the father of Ferdinand. I aided Antonio in unseating Prospero as Duke of Milan 12 years before now.
Hello, my name is Elexis, and I'll be playing Ferdinand. I am the son and heir of Alonso. I am noble, honorable, and I have no swagger. I fall in love with Miranda upon first sight, and I submit to servitude in order to win her father's approval.
Hello, I'm Caliban. Prospero is my master. I'm a bit of a monster, and my mom was Sycorax, who was a witch. She's deceased now. Therefore, the island rightfully belongs to me and has been stolen by my wicked, wicked master, Prospero.
I'm playing Ariel, one of Prospero's helper with an ambiguous gender and an ambiguous form. I rescued Pro. I was rescued by Prospero from a long imprisonment, all at the hands of the witch Sycorax, and I am Prospero's servant until he decides to release me. I'm mischievous, ubiquitous, powerful, and confident.
I'm Nicole Miller, and I am playing Miranda. I'm the daughter of Prospero, and I was brought to the island at an early age, and I have never seen any other man other than my father and Caliban. I've been sealed off from the world nearly my entire life, so my perceptions of other people tend to be naive and non-judgmental. I'm compassionate, generous, and very
I'm Constance. I am playing part of Prospero. I'm the protagonist and the father of Miranda. 12 years before the events of the play, I was the Duke of Milan. My brother Antonio, in concert with Alonso, the King of Naples, usurped me, forcing me to flee in a boat with my daughter. The honest Lord Gonzalo aided me in my escape. I've spent my 12 years on the island refining the magic that gives me the power I need to punish and forgive my enemies.
Act 1, Scene 1, the island before Prospero's cell. A tempestuous noise of thunder and lightning heard. Enter Prospero and Miranda.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, will pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
More to know did never meddle with my thoughts.
Oh, 'tis time I should inform thee farther. So, wipe thine eyes, have comfort, the dire spectacle of the wreck which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee. I have with such provision in mine art so safely ordered that there is no soul, no so much perdition as a hair, but tied to any creature in the vessel which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sink. Sit down, for thou must know further.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay not yet.
Canst thou remember a time before we came into the cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wasn't not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can. 'Tis far off and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women come once that tended me?
Thou hadst and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the backward abyss of time? If thou remembrance aught ere canst came here, how thou camest here they mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan and Prince of Power.
Sir, are not you my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter, and thy father was the Duke of Milan. And thou is only heir and princess, no more worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence, or blessed was we did?
Both, my girl, by foul play, and thou sayest, where we heave thence, but blessed holy hither, my brother and thy uncle called Antonio. I pray thee mark me, that a brother should be so perfidious. He whom next thyself of all world I love, and him put the manager of my estate. The government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew strange. They transported and wrapped in secret duties thy false uncle, doubts thou attended me.
Sir, most heedfully.
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for overtopping, new created the creatures that were mine. I say or changed them, or else new formed them, having both the key and officer and office, set all hearts I in the state. To what tune pleased his air thou attendst not?
Oh, good sir, I do.
I pray thee mark me. I thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, he being thus lorded, not only with what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact, like one having to in truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory, to credit his own lie. He did believe he was indeed the Duke. Dost there hear me?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between that part he played and him played it for. He needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. The King of Naples, being an enemy to my inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that he, in lieu of the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom and confer to fair Milan with all the honors of my brother, whereupon a treacherous army levied one night. Fated to the purpose did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and I, the dead of darkness, the ministers for the purpose, hurried thence, me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity! Wherefore did they not that hours destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dare they durst not, so dare the love my people bore me. And few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, which they prepared, a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackled sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctively had quitted. They there hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to stick to the winds whose pity sighed back, did us but lovingly wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Cherub, thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I'd have decked the sea with drops full of salt, under my burden groan which raised in me, and undergoing in my stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan Gonzalo, out of his charity, being then appointed master of this design, did give us, with rich garments, linen, stuff, and necessaries, which since have steadied much, so of his gentleness. Knowing I loved my books, he'd furnished me from my own library with volumes that I prize above my kingdom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Sit still. I hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can have more time for vain hours and tutors not so careful.
Heavens, thank you for that. And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind your reason for raising this sea storm.
By accident most strange, bountiful fortune hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influences, if now I court not omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. And cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it away. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant. Come, I'm ready now. Approach, my Ariel. Come.
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure, be to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds to thy strong bidding, task Ariel and all his quality.
Hast thou spirit? Perform to the point the tempest that I bade thee.
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck. In every cabin I flamed amazement, the fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble, yea, his dread trident shake.
Brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason?
Not a soul, but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then, all afire with me, the king's son, Ferdinand, was the first man that leaped, cried, "Hell is empty, and all the devils are here."
Why, that's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before, as thou badest me. In troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son I have landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs in an odd angle of the isle, and stitching his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in harbour is the king's ship, the mariners all under hatches stowed, who, with a charm joined to their suffered labour, I have left asleep.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time 'twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now, moody? What is thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Thou'st thou forgot from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost and thinkest much to treat the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Algiers.
Oh, was she so? This damned witch Sycorax, from mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing from Algiers. Thou knowest was banished. This blue-eyed hag was hither, brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Though my slave, and though reports thyself, wasn't then her servant. And for though wasn't a spirit too delicate to act her earthly and abhorred commands, refusing her behest, she did confine thee, by help of her more unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine within which rift imprisoned thou didst painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died, and left thee there, with thou didst vent thy groans, as fast as a mill we strike. Then was this island, save for the sun that she did litter here, and freckled, wept, hag-born, not honored with, not even with a human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service, thou best knowest what torment I did find in thee. Thy groans did make wolves howl and penetrate the breasts of even every anger bears it was mine art. When I arrived and I heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to Nile's sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape and hither come into it. Go hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake!
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on now. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer. What ho, slave, Caliban? Thou earth, thou speak.
There's wood enough within.
Though poisoned slave got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam, come forth.
Oh, as wicked though as ever my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fin, drop on you both. So just a southwest blow on you and blister you all over.
For this be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall fall from the vast of night that they may work. All exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. The island is mine by Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me and madest much of me, and wouldst give me the water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light and how to less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and I showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs and the brine pits and the barren place and the fertile. Curse be that I did so. all the charms of sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you. For I am all the subject that you have, which first was mine own king, and here you stye me in this hard rock, whilst you keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move not kindness. I have used thee filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in my own cell, till thou didst seek to violate to honor of my child.
Oh, what's that been done? This prevent me, else I had peopled this isle with Calibans.
Abhorred slave, which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not, savage, known thy own meaning, but wouldn't gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The Red Plague rid you for learning me your language.
Hag seed, hence! Fetch us in fuel and be quick, thou best. To answer other business, struggest thou malice? If thou neglect'st or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps. Fill all thy bones with aches, make thee raw that beast shall tremble at thy din.
No, pray thee.
So slave hence.
Come unto these yellow sands, and then take hands. Curtsied when you have, and kissed the wild waves' whist. Footed featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Hark, hark.
Where should this music be? In the earth or in the air? It sounds no more. And sure, it waits upon some goddess of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again, the king my fathers wrecked, this music cried by me upon the waters, allying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or rather, it had drawn me here. But 'tis gone. Oh, no, it sounds again.
Full fathom 5 thy father lies, of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Seen him sourly ring his knell. Hark, now I hear them, ding dong bell.
The ditty does remind me of my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
Fringe curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yond.
What is't? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about! Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, wench, it eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have, such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and but he'd something stained with grief that's beauty's canker, thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
And it goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Most sure, the goddess on whom these heirs attend. Vouchsafe, my prayer may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will give some good instruction on how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder if you be a maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
Huh, my language! Heavens, I am the best of them that speaks this language. Were I, but 'tis where it's spoken.
How? The best? What were thou if the King of Naples heard thee?
A single thing as I am now that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eye never since at ebb but held the king my father wrecked.
Oh, lack for mercy.
As faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan, his brave son being twain.
At the first sight, they had changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw, the first that e'er I sighed for. Pity, move my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if you're a virgin and your affection had not gone forth, well, I'll make you Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir, one word, one more. They are both in each other's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more, I charge thee, that thou attend me, though darest here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me and Lord on't.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him, he's a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink, thy food shall be thy fresh brook mussels, withered root and husk wherein the acorn cradled follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial for him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
What? I say my foot, my tutor? Put thy sword upon, traitor, who makest the show but darest not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Sir, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Silence. One word more shall make me chide thee. What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush. Thou thinkest there's no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban? Foolish wench. To the most of men this is Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats, to whom are but subdued. They are light to me, might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid. All else corners of the earth make liberty use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come now. Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Thou shalt be free as mountain winds, but then exactly do all points of my command.
The syllable.
Come follow.
Act 2, Scene 1, another part of the island. Enter King Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio, and Gonzalo.
Beseech you, sir. Be merry. You have cause. So have We all of joy for our escape. It is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, and the merchant have just a theme of woe. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, and the merchant have just a theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him or so.
Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
Sir,
One, tell.
here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Of that there's none or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks, how green.
The ground indeed is tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
No, he doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit,
As many vouched rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold, notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
What impossible matter will he make easy next?
I think he will carry this island home in his pocket and give it his son for an apple.
Oh, and sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands.
Sir, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we were at Tunis at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen. Is not my doublet as fresh as when I wore it at your daughter's marriage?
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there, for coming thence, my son is lost, and in my rage she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. O thou, mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the sturges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water, whose enmity he flung aside, and breasted the surge most swollen that met him. His bold head above the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with his good arms and his lusty stroke. And to the shore, that o'er his wave-worn bases bowed, as stooping to relieve him, I not doubt he came alive to the land.
No, he's gone.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather?
Very foul.
Then had I a plantation of this isle, my lord?
He'd sow it with nettle seed.
Or docks, or mallows.
And were the king on it, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
In the commonwealth I would by contraries execute all things, but no kind of traffic would I admit. No name of magistrate, letters should not be known, riches, poverty, and use of service, none. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, till vineyard, none. No use of metal, corn or wine or oil, no occupation. All men idle, all, and women too, but innocent and pure. No sovereignty.
Yet he would be king on it.
The latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, or need of any engine would I not have. But nature should bring forth of its own kind. All poison, all abundance to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among his subjects.
None, man. All idle, whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
God save his majesty.
Long live Gonzalo!
And do you mark me, sir?
Prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe your voice. And did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs that they always used to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me to sleep, for I'm very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? All so soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so.
We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch your safety.
Thank you. Oh, wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do. And surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? This is a strange repose, to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lett'st thy fortune sleep, die rather, wink'st whilst thou art waking.
Pray thee, say on. The setting of thine eyes and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuade, for he's a spirit of persuasion only, professes to persuade. The king, his son's alive. 'Tis as impossible that he's undrowned, and he that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? No hope that way is another way, so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir to Naples?
What stuff is this? How say you?
Say this were death that now has seized them. Why, there were no worse than now they were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Oh, that you were born the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeter than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir, where lies that? I feel not this deity in my bosom. 20 consciences that stand twixt me and Milan, candid be they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon. If he were that which now he's like, that's dead, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever.
Thy case, my dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou goest Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall it on Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
Then let us both be sudden.
While you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy his time doth take. If of life you keep a care, share and beware.
Hello. Good angels, preserve the king.
What? How now? Ho! Awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Whilst we stood here securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing, like bulls, or rather lions. Didst not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that was a strange one too, which did wake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure of the island.
Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So go, king, safely on to seek thy son.
Act 2, Scene 2, another part of the island. Enter Caliban with a burden of wood. A noise of thunder heard.
Oh, all the infections that thy son sucks up from bogs and fens and flats on Prosper for and make him by inchmeal disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse, but they'll nor pinch, fright me with urchin shows, pitch me into mire, nor leave me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid him. But for every trifle they are set upon me, sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bite me, and then like hedgehogs which lie tumbling in my barefoot way and mount their pricks at my footfall. And sometime am I all wound with adders, which with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness.
Oh, what?
Lo comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing the wood in slowly, I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all, and another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yond same black cloud, yond huge one, looks like a foul bombard that will shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yond same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or fish, dead or alive? Oh, God, a fish. Oh, he smells like a fish. Oh, a very ancient fish-like smell. Oh, strange fish. He legged like a man and fins like arms. Oh, alas, the storm has come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery makes acquainted man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past.
I shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore. This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's my comfort.
Do not torment me.
Oh, what's the matter? Have we devils here? Do you put tricks upon? This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs who hath got, as I take it, an ague. Where the devil should he learn our language? I will give him some relief, if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get in Naples with him, he's a present for my emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me, pray thee. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He is in his fit now, and does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste my bottle. If he hath never drunk wine afore, will go near to remove his fit.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Well, anon, I know it by thy trembling. Now, Prosper works upon thee.
Come on your ways. Open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you. Cat, open your mouth. This will shake your shaking, I can tell you, and that soundly. You cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned, and these are devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle will recover him, I will help his ague. Come, amen. I will pour some in thine other mouth.
Stephano?
Doth thy other mouth call me? Mercy! Mercy! This is a devil and no monster!
Stephano, if thou beest Stephano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by lesser legs. If any Trinculo legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed.
But art thou not drowned, Stephano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm.
Oh,
Stephano! Oh, Stephano! 2 Neapolitans escaped!
Pretty! Do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
They find things, and if they be not sprites, that's a brave god and bears celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon a butt of sack, which the sailors heaved overboard by this bottle.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear then how thou escapest.
Swim ashore, man, like a duck.
Oh.
I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Here, kiss the book. Thou, though, canst swim like a duck. Thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stephano, hast thou any more of this?
Oh, the whole butt, man. My cellar is in a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, mooncalf, how does thine ague?
Oh, hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man of the moon when the time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee.
Come, swear to that. Kiss the book. I will furnish it anon with new contents. Swear.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. A most poor, credulous monster.
I'll show thee every foot or inch of the island, and I'll kiss thy foot, I pray thee. Be my God.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When his god's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
Kiss, die, foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. A most scurvy monster. I can find it in my heart to beat him. But that the poor monster's in drink. An abominable monster.
Well, I'll show thee the best springs, and I'll pluck the berries, and I'll fish for thee, and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the time that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
A most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I pray thee, let me bring thee where the crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pig nuts and show thee a jay's nest and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. And I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get thee young scammels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo! The king and all our company else be drowned. We will inherit here. Here, bear my bottle. Fellow Trinculo will fill him by and by again.
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell.
A howling monster, a drunken monster.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way.
Act 3, Scene 1. Before Prospero's cell. Enter Ferdinand, bearing a log.
There be some sports are painful, and their labor delights in them sets them off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and the most poor matters point to their rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes these labors pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's crab, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some 1,000 of these logs and pile them up upon a sore injunction. My mistress weeps when she sees me work and says that such baseness had never like an executed. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors most busy, least when I do it.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you are enjoined to pile. Pray set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. Pray now rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
Oh, dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray give me that, I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you. And I should do it with much more ease, for my good will is to it, and yours is against it.
Poor one, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I have broke your heat to say so.
Admired Miranda! Oh, indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more than I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skilless of. But by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you. Nor can I imagine form a shape besides yourself to look of. But I prattle something too wildly in my father's precepts, I therein do forget.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. The very instant that I saw you, did my heart fly to your service. There was eyes to make me slave to it. For your sake, I am this patient logman.
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven, oh, earth, bear witness to this sound and crown what I profess. If the event be true, I, beyond all limit of what else in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
Oh, I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning, and prompt me plain and holy innocence. I am your wife if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or no.
My mistress dearest, and thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ever of freedom, here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000, 1,000.
So glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised withal, but my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
Act 3, Scene 2, another part of the island. Enter Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo.
Tell not me. When the butt is out, we will drink water, not a drop before. Therefore, bear up and boredom, servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster? The folly of this island. They say there's but 5 on this isle. We are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brained like us, the state totters.
My man-monster hath drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore, 35 leagues off and on. By this light thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list, he's no standard.
We'll not run, monsieur monster.
Nor go neither. But you'll lie like dogs and yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, if thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe. No, not serve him. He's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am in a case to justle a constable, eh? Why, thou debauched fish, thou, was there ever a coward that hath drunk so much as I today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
No, how he mocks me. Wilt thou let him, my lord?
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer the next tree, the poor monster's my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank thee, my noble lord. Wilt that be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry, will I kneel and repeat it? I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island. I say, by sorcery, he got the isle. From me, he got it. If thy greatness will, revenge it on him, for I know thou darest. But this thing dare not.
Oh, that's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I will serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yeah, my lord. yield him thee asleep, where thou mayst knock a nail into his bead. Why, as I told thee, 'tis a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. Thou mayst brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log, batter his skull, or punch him with a stake, or cut his weasel with a knife. Remember, and that most deeply to consider, is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil.
Is it so brave a lass?
Aye, Lord. She will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I will be king and queen, save our graces, and Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Give me thy hand. I am sorry that I beat thee, but while thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Thou makest me merry. I'm full of pleasure. Let us be juckins while you troll the catch. You taught me but while ere.
At thy request, monster, I will do reason, any reason. Come on, Trinculo, let us sing. Flauterman, scouterman, scouterman,
flauterman,
thought
is free.
That's not the tune.
What is this then?
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in likeness. If thou beest a devil, takest as thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sins.
He that dies pays all debts. I defy thee, mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be thou not afeard. This style is full of noises. Now, this sweet airs, delight, and
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
when Prospero is destroyed, within this half hour will he be asleep? Whilst that, destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honor.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it and after do our work.
Lead, monster. We'll follow. I could see this tabor. He lays it on.
Well, come, I'll follow Stephano.
This I will tell my master.
Act 3, Scene 3, another part of the island. Enter King Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio, and Gonzalo.
By Larkin, I can go no farther, sir. My old bones ache. Here's a maze trot indeed. You forthrights and meanders. By your patience, I must needs rest me.
Old Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirit. Sit down and rest. Even here I will put off my hope and keep it no longer for my flatterer. He is drowned, whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land.
I am right glad that he's so out of hope. Do not for one repulse forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage we will take thoroughly.
Let it be tonight. For now they are oppressed with travel. They will not, nor cannot use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more. Solomon's strange music.
What harmony is this, my good friends? Hark!
Marvelous sweet music.
Enter Prospero, above, invisible. Enter several strange shapes, bringing in a banquet. They dance about it with gentle actions of salutation and inviting the king, etc., to eat. They depart.
Give us, kind keepers, heavens, what are these?
The living drollery. Now I believe that there are unicorns.
If the neighbors, I should report this now, would they believe me?
They vanished strangely.
No matter, since they have left their viands behind. For we have stomachs. Wilt please you taste of what is here?
Not I.
And in faith, sir, you need not fear.
I will stand to and feed, although my last, no matter, since I feel the best is past. Brother, my lord the duke, stand to and do as we.
Thunder and lightning. Enter Ariel like a harpy, claps his wings upon the table, and with a quaint device, the banquet vanishes.
You three are men of sin, whom destiny that has to instrument this lower world, and was what is isn't. The never-surfeited sea hath caused to belch up you, and on this island where man doth not inhabit, you monks men being most unfit to live. I have made you mad, and even with such valor like men hang and drown their proper selves.
You fools! You and my fellows are
You
ministers of fate.
fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with the mock that stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dowel that's in my plume. But remember, for that's my business to you, that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea with which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all the creatures against your peace. Be of thy son, Alonso, they have the rest, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition, worse than any death.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel. My high charms work, and these mine enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power, and in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they supposed is drowned, and his and mine loved darling.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me in the thunder. That deep and dreadful organ pipe pronounced the name of Prosper. It did bath my trespass. Therefore my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than air plummeted sound, and with him there lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time, I'll fight their legions o'er.
I'll be thy second.
All three of them are desperate. Their great guilt, like poison given to work and a great time after, now begins to bite the spirits.
Act 4, Scene 1, before Prospero's cell. Enter Prospero, Ferdinand, and Miranda.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. For I have given you here a third of mine own life, or that for which I live, who once again I tended to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test there. Afore heaven I ratified this rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast her off, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it against an oracle.
Then, as my gift and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. What, Ariel, my industrious servant, Ariel?
What would? My potent master, here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or whom I give thee power here to this place, incite them to quick motion. For I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently.
Aye, with a twink.
Before you can say come and go and breathe twice and cry so and so, each one tripping on his toe will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, no?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call.
Well, I conceive.
Look, though be true. Do not give dalliance too much the rein. The strongest oaths are straw. To the fire I the blood, be more abstemious, or else good night your vow.
I warn you, sir, the white cold virgin snow upon my heart abates the ardor of my liver.
Well, now come, my Ariel, bring a coralie. Rather than one a spirit appear, and pertly, no tongue, all eyes be silent.
Honor, riches, knowledge, blessing, long continuance, and increasing. Our joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings upon you. Earth's increase, voice and plenty, barns and garners never empty. Vines and clustering bunches growing, plants with goodly burthen bowing. Spring come to you at the farthest, in the very end of harvest. Scarcity and want shall shun you. Ceres' blessing so is on you.
This is a most majestic vision and harmoniously charming. May I be bold to think that these are sprites?
Spirits, which by mine art I have from their confines called to enact my present fancies.
Let me live here ever. So rare have a wedded father and a wife make this place paradise.
Your nymphs called naiads of the winding brooks, with your sedged crowns and ever harmless looks, leave your crisp channels and all screen land. Answer your summons, Juno does command. Come, temperate nymphs, and help to celebrate a contract of true love. Be not too late.
Well done. Avoid no more. You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These are our actors. As I foretold you, we're all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the clouded capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great gold globe itself, ye all which inherit, shall dissolved and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness, my brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you be pleased, retire into my cell, and there repose in turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
We wish your peace.
Come with a thought. I thank thee, Ariel. Come.
Thy thoughts, these two. It's thy pleasure.
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban. Say again, where didst thou leavest they varlets?
I told you, sir. Red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smelt the air for breathing in their face, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which, like unbacked colts, they pricked their ears and danced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears, that calf like they my lowing followed through toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking goss and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them, the filthy mantled pool beyond yourself, there dancing up to the chins, that the foul Lagos stunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still, a devil, a born devil, on whose nature nurture can never stick, on whom mine pains, humanly taken, all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all, even to roaring.
Pray you, tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We are near it, sir.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than played the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look, you.
Thou wert but a lost monster.
Good, my lord, give me thy favour still. Be patient, for thy prize I bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore, speak softly. Oh, hushed is midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our bottles in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonor in that monster, but an infinite loss.
That's more to me than my wetting. Yet this is your harmless fairy monster.
I will fetch off my bottle, though I be o'er years for my labor.
Pray thee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief which may make this island thine own forever.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Let alone and do the murder first. If he awake, from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches and make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster!
I won't have none in it. We shall lose our time and all be turned to barnacles or to apes with foreheads villainous low.
A noise of hunters heard. Enter diverse spirits in shapes of dogs and hounds and hunt them about.
Fury, fury, there, tyrant, there, hawk, hawk.
Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo are driven out.
Go charge my goblins, that they grind their joints with dry convulsions, shorten up their sinews with age cramps, and more pinch spotted make them than pard or cat or mountain.
Hark, they roar.
Let them be hunted soundly. At this hour, lie at my mercy all my enemies. Shortly shall all my labors end, and thou shalt have the air at freedom for a little follow and do me service.
5, Scene 1. Before Prospero's cell, enter Prospero in his magic robes and Ariel.
Now does my project gather to a heed. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease?
I did say so. When first I raised the Tempest, say, my spirit, how fares the king and followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir. They cannot budge till your release. Your charm so strongly worksome that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou which art but e'er a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind that relish all as sharply, passions as they be kindlier move than thou art? Thou with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason gayst my fury. Do I take part, the rarer action is, in virtue than in vengeance. They be penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend. Not a frow further. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him. When he comes back, you dummy puppets that by moonshine do the green soul rimblets make, whereof the eel not bits, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice, to hear the solemn curfew by whose aid weak masters, though ye be, I have bedbin. The noontime sun called forth the multitudinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azur'd vault sets roaring war to the dread loud rattling thunder. Have I given fire and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt, the strong base promontory? Have I made shake and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar, graves at my command? Have walked their sleepers opt and let him forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure. And when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses, that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book.
Re-enter Ariel before, then King Alonso, attended by Gonzalo, Sebastian, and Antonio. They all enter the circle which Prospero has made, and there stand charmed.
O good Gonzalo, my true preserver and a loyal sir, to him you followest, I will pay thy graces home both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched forth now, Sebastian, flesh and blood, you brother of mine that entertained ambition, expelled remorse in nature, who with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would have killed your king. I do forgive thee. Unnatural though thou art, their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me, Ariel, quickly, spirit. thou shalt ere long be free. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art, there shalt thou find the mariners asleep under the hatches, the master and the boatswain, being awakened, and force them to this place. And presently, I prithee.
I drink the air before me and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee, but yet thou shalt have freedom, so. Behold, Sir King, the wrong Duke of Milan, Prospero, first noble friend Gonzalo, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all, for more assurances that a living prince does now speak to thee. I embrace thy body, and to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou be'st he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I know not. Thy pulse beats of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness held me. 'Tis must craven, if this be at all a most strange story. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs.
But you, my brace of lords, were so minded, I here could pluck his highness frown upon you and justify your traitors. At this time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth, I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them.
If thou be'st Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation. How thou met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I have lost, how sharp the point of this remembrance, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir, for the like loss I have.
You the like loss?
As great to me as late, for I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there, that they were, I wish, myself were muddied in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. Welcome, sir, this sells my court. Here have I few attendants, some subjects, none abroad. Pray you, look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with a good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content ye, as much as me my dukedom.
A most high miracle!
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now all the blessings of a good father compass thee about. Arise and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Is she the goddess that has severed us and brought us together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence she's mine. She is the daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renowned, but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life and a second father. This lady makes him to me.
I am hers. But oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child for forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that is gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoke ere this. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo. Give me your hand. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that does not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. Be cheerful and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit. Set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. How fares my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself. For all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster, coraggio.
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Setibos, these be brave spirits indeed. Oh, how fine my master is. I'm afraid he will chastise me.
What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy 'em?
Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and no doubt marketable.
Mark, but the badges of these men, my lords, these three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own this thing of darkness. Acknowledge mine.
Oh, I shall be pinched to death.
Is not this Stephano? My drunken butler, and Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? How camest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last, I fear me will never out my bones.
Why, how now, Stephano?
Oh, touch me not. I am not Stephano, but a cram.
You'll be king of the isle, sirrah.
I should have been a sore one then.
This is a strange thing as e'er I looked on.
He is as disproportioned in his manners and as in shape. Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions as you look to have my pardon. Trim it handsomely.
I will, and I ought to be wise hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away. Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night. And in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hopes to see the nuptials of these our dear beloved solemnized, and thence retire me to Milan.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditiously that shall catch your royal fleet far off.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went.
My trickiest spirit.
Was well done.
Bravely, my diligence, my Ariel chick, that is thy charge. Then to the elements, be free and fare thou well.
Whoever be sucks, there suck I. In a cowslip's bell I lie. There I couch when owls do cry. On the bat's back I do fly. After summer merrily, merrily, merrily shall I live. Now under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have mine's own, which is most faint now, 'tis true. I must be here confined by you or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgences set me free.
End of play. Hey everyone. Thanks for watching. We love doing it. We had a lot of fun. We hope you did too. And tune into the next installment of No Pants Shakespeare. Bye everyone.
Mercy.